Want a soar? Get a mentor? Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos. It's probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you need a push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband, Evan Carmichael, the reason why most people hate their life. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Do meaningful work.
There is no work-life balance. There's just life. The fact that we are separating work from life, I think is a big problem. I think that's why most people hate their life. Because we don't see work as a part of life. Your work is a part of life. Your work should fuel your life. Your work should give you purpose and meaning. We all want to wake up and feel like we matter and we're going to do something today in our work that's going to create some kind of positive impact, right? On the days when you wake up and you feel like today is going to matter, I'm going to make something that is going to matter to another human being, maybe 1 million people, maybe one person, but today is going to matter. Those are the days that you love your life and you feel amazing and you feel like you're contributing and you feel like this is why I do what I do. And on the days when you feel like it doesn't matter, nobody cares if you show up, you're not making anything meaningful, there is no contribution, those are the days where you hate your life. There is no work-life balance, guys. It's just life. When I'm on podcasts and people ask me this question, like, what does work-life balance mean to you? Or they ask me some variation of it, like, how many hours a day do you work? Or what does your work calendar look like? It's like, well, what's work to you is my usual response. Now, I'm sitting here on your show. I'm having a great time. We're doing this podcast together. Is this work for you? Like, does this count as work? Because I don't see this as work. This isn't work. This is fun. This is fun for me. This is my life. I like this. When I see this podcast in my calendar, I'm excited by it. I don't look at it as work. Making these videos, I don't see it as work. That's why I've been able to stay so consistent. Right? How do I not burn out? It's another question I get asked a lot. How do you not burn out? How do you make so many videos? How do you not burn out? A lot of people burn out nowhere even close to the number of videos that I've done over how many years? 13 years? A lot of years. Guys, it's been a lot of years of showing up and making over 10,000 videos. Crazy. How? Why? Well, because it doesn't feel like work. This is part of my life. This is what a purposeful life looks like. If I saw it as work, I would have quit and given up years ago. I mean, a decade plus ago. There are some pieces of what I do that feels like work. You know, doing accounting stuff feels like work. I hate that stuff. Doing administrative stuff, paperwork, legal stuff, that feels like work. I burn out very quickly. I want to spend the least amount of time as possible on that. I want to hire people, have a great lawyer, have a great accountant, have a great bookkeeper, have people help me with that stuff because I do not enjoy it. It feels like work. And if my calendar was just filled with that stuff, I would hate my life. So I don't believe in work-life balance. I reject the premise of the entire question. It's just life. How do you want to spend your life? And this is one of the greatest things that we have as entrepreneurs. You get to decide what your life is. You get to pick the business you go into. You don't have a boss besides the customers, but you still also get to pick which customers that you work with. And your work should be something that is a source of joy for you and a source of energy for you. Because when you love what you're doing every day, it will bring you a lot more happiness and satisfaction in your life. So it's all just life. One of the great things I think that you can do is look at your calendar, see what's coming up in the next couple weeks, couple months, and are you excited by the things that are in your calendar? And I put everything in my calendar. I love living by my calendar. I don't know if it's because I don't remember what I'm doing, tomorrow, or I'm so present focused that I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing tomorrow. So I have it in my calendar. And I think it also reduces anxiety for me to know that I've got days for things. So making videos, I don't worry during the week about making videos because I know on Tuesday it's my video day and I'll get it all done. And if I get an idea for video, I'll email myself and I'll look at that on Tuesday. So it's in my calendar. So I have a spot for everything. So I'm not constantly worried. Before I had a calendar, I'd be worried and anxious about, oh, when am I going to get this done? When do I have time to do this? And that would stress me out. Where now, like, okay, I know I'm going to do that on Tuesday. When am I going to have time to mentor my team? Oh, okay, I'm going to have, all right, Monday. When am I going to have time to have, to clean up the condo and do grocery shopping, whatever? Okay, that's Sunday, right? So it's all in the calendar. So at least for me, having a calendar has been life-changing. But what ends up happening is we don't put everything in our calendar. We just put our meetings in our calendar. Where I put everything. I put time with Nina in my calendar, time with my son in my calendar, time playing League of Legends and Minecraft is in my calendar. It's in my calendar. So I have time to get everything I want out of life done. You have time. This reason of, oh, I don't have time. You have time. Like if I was to step into your life and see what you were doing every day, there's a lot of wasted time. There's a lot of unintentional time. So the whole idea of having a calendar is to be more intentional. Be more intentional with how you're spending your time. And if you do that, then you can look at your week ahead, your month ahead, and are you excited? This is all life, right? Forget work-life balance. It's all life. So you look at your life, what's in your calendar. Are you excited by the things that are in there? Are you excited by the projects you're working on? Are you excited by the people you're going to be connecting with? Are you excited by the amount of time you're spending just to yourself? Whether that's meditation or yoga or working out or swimming or walking or whatever. Are you spending enough time just for you? Are you excited about the life that is in your calendar? And if not, then change it. What are we doing here? This is why you became an entrepreneur. If you want to live somebody else's version of your life, go get a job where you're told what to do, you're told when to show up, you're told what you have to work on. That's a job. That's why most people hate their lives, because they're being told what to do constantly all the time. They have no freedom. If you want to be an entrepreneur and have ultimate freedom, then let's take control of our calendar, because we're not. Most entrepreneurs that I meet feel out of control, are wasting a ton of time, feel like they're not spending their time being intentional, know they're capable of so much more, know they can be a lot more efficient, a lot more productive, a lot more purposeful with how they're spending their time. So if there's nothing in your calendar that's exciting you, then you do not like your life, because your calendar is a reflection of how you're spending your life. So change it. Now, maybe that's a drastic change, or maybe that's a minor change. And this is an ongoing evolution. Whenever I feel unhappy, not like depressed, because that doesn't really happen, but when I'm feeling like the energy's off, probably a better way to put it. Whenever I feel like the energy is off, for one day, not the end of the world, right? For one day, just go do the thing that's in your calendar because you said you were going to do it, right? But if that's happening for a couple days in a row, or if it's happening for Tuesdays, is my filming day, for example, if I had 2 or 3 Tuesdays in a row where I feel the energy is really off and I'm not enjoying making videos, then I need to pivot. And it's either I need to make different kinds of videos, or I need to just stop making videos. That may happen. I'm willing to drop things if it doesn't bring me joy anymore. And we, as humans, stay in things for far too long. Like, there are things that you're holding on to that you should have dropped maybe years ago, and you're still doing it. Why? Because it's a habit, a routine, or it's sunk costs. Like, you had this goal 5 years ago that doesn't even matter to you anymore, but you've built your self-identity around it. Be willing to let go of things sooner, because you'll never win doing work that you hate. And so there may come a day where I just drop my YouTube channel, all of them, because it doesn't fill me with joy anymore. Now, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because I still love doing this stuff.
Rule number 2, don't tie your self-worth to winning.
You're afraid of experimenting because you tie your self-worth to winning instead of trying. If you base your self-worth off how much you win, then you're only going to try things that you have a good chance of winning at. Thus, you play small for life. But instead, if you base your self-worth on trying, on the effort that you're putting in, you will fail on most days, but you'll end up accomplishing more than you ever thought was possible. So every time I go to a YouTube event, I'm always being praised by my thumbnails. People always say, Evan's got the best thumbnails, go look at his thumbnails, model his thumbnails, use them as an example for the best practice. And I internally am always saying our thumbnails suck. We need to get better. Sure, we might be among the best, but we need to get better. We could be way better than we are right now. Why have we become the best? Because I'm experimenting constantly. Most of my tests do not work. I use a tool called TubeBuddy. Shout out TubeBuddy, huge fan. We've done over 1,100 split tests on our thumbnails, where we run one thumbnail against another and one against another and one against another, trying to beat our best. And most of the experiments don't work. They just don't work. I recently ran an experiment of, on my main channel, putting my face on the thumbnail with the YouTube white border against Tony Robbins. And it tanked. It was like 80% worse than our current thumbnail. And that's okay. People don't like my face next to Tony Robbins. That is okay. I'm fine with it. I expect to lose. I expect everything I do not to work, but I'm willing to test it to see. I just recently came up with one thumbnail design where I made the background purple instead of black. Purple instead of black. And it actually did better. It did significantly better. And so now I'm testing it out on 5 more thumbnails to see, does the purple one do better than the black one? If that works out, maybe I roll it out across the entire channel. But it's very rare that I find the win. Out of the 1,100 experiments that we've done, most of them will not work, will never work. Even from the beginning, I'm thinking this is probably not gonna work, but I'm willing to test. That's okay. Even if the most likely outcome is failure, it's worth the test to see. I think we've been conditioned so much that failing is bad. That when you fail, you suck and everybody ridicules you, and then that's the end. The people who have won the most have failed the most. Jeff Bezos has failed the most. He's tried so many things and most of them do not work out. And that's fine. People don't see the losses when you've got a couple wins under your belt. But how do you get to the wins? Through all the losses, right? Most people, they take one bet, they lose because you don't know what you're doing the first time out. You lose and then you never get back and do it again. You never get up and try again. You settle for a mediocre life because you're not meant to be an entrepreneur. You're not meant to be an expert. You can never make it. And you tell this story to yourself. You just failed once. That's all. You should suck at the beginning. Most things should fail at the beginning. If you start studying success, and I've studied more successful people than most people, you'll see that it's a history of losses and failures and defeats in the micro that then they learn from. And they find one thing that works, and then they push all their chips in and go all in on that thing. That's the only difference. They're not any more special than you. They just are more willing to experiment, to try, and to fail. Now I've got a 3-step process to help you experiment more and stop caring so much what other people think that I think will help. Step number 1 is expect to suck at the start. Just expect to suck. It's crazy how people expect to be great the first time out. The first thumbnail that you're gonna make is gonna suck. The first person that you hire on your team is gonna suck. Not because they suck, it's because you suck as a manager, as a trainer, as a leader in hiring. You suck, it's your fault. Look at most companies and look at the first 10 people that they hired. Big companies, those 10 people aren't around anymore because the entrepreneur founder sucked at hiring. You will hire the wrong person. It doesn't mean that you can never hire people or should always be a solo entrepreneur. You just don't have that skill set yet. Okay, awesome. The first video that you make will suck. Go back and watch my first videos. They all sucked. I was completely embarrassed by the first 350 public videos on my channel. Completely embarrassed. Could not watch them back, ever. Awesome, keep going. You're gonna step up to the free throw line and try to shoot a basketball. You're not gonna get it in the first time, you just won't. I think actually if you're great the first time out, then you actually suck. Like if you get on camera, you make your first video, and you're great, you suck. You should have started 4 years ago. You should have started way before. You've waited too long. You're sleeping and sitting on your talent. So expect to suck. Expect the first thing to have 0 results. And you're just paying attention to, did you enjoy the process? I may have sucked at making videos at the beginning, but I liked it. I liked the process. And I slowly got better. And with time and effort and practice and patience, I got better. 6,000 videos later, here I am with my channel. And hopefully I continue to get better. But it's always because I expect to suck at the beginning. Step number 2 is watch your language. This is really important. You need to watch the language that you say, especially to yourself. You can ask other people to catch it for you, but you try to catch it yourself. Anytime you hear yourself saying hard, difficult, or scary, hard, difficult, or scary, let that be a trigger. It's a trigger. You're not allowed to say that anymore. That is not an acceptable reason for you not to do something. Why are you not gonna make a video? Because it's hard. Nope. Because it's difficult. Nope. Because it's scary. Nope. No. You do hard. You do difficult. You do scary. You love it. You want to do hard, difficult, and scary. What's the opposite? The opposite of hard, difficult, and scary is you do things that you are already good at, that are inside your comfort zone. Thus, you hate your life. If there's nothing in your calendar for the next week, next month that is hard, difficult, or scary, you hate your life. You're just photocopying the same day over and over and over and over again. You want something more. You know you're capable of something more. That's how it happens. And so it's a great little acid test. It's a great reminder that every time you hear yourself saying it, it's go time. You have to go do it. You have to, just because you said it. And have the people around you call you out on it too. Your husband, your wife, your kids, your friends, your family, your community, people around you. If you ever answer a question, I'm not gonna do it because it's hard, because it's difficult, or because it's scary, it's not an acceptable answer anymore. Because you do hard, you do difficult, and you love scary. And then step number 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort. Applaud the effort regardless of the result. I had a recent podcast with my friend Mark Drager, and I asked him, Mark, I need you to celebrate a point where you were proud of your effort, but you didn't get a result. Because he's so tied to getting results, which is great. But if you only tie your self-worth to getting results, you're gonna take small bets. You're only gonna play inside your comfort zone, and thus you play small for life. So I said, when was the last time that you were so proud of your effort, even though you didn't get a result? And he couldn't think of something on the spot. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're not rewarding it enough. Tie your self-worth to the effort. What have you done today, or what will you do today, this week, this month, that you're proud of the effort, even if the result is 0, even if the result is negative. You put up a video that you're working your face off to try to record and get out. You spend a whole day recording it, you finally get one, you post it, and everybody laughs at you. It's a negative result. Most people probably won't even care. But let's say you get a negative, awesome. I'm pumped for you. I'm pumped for you. I use the example when people are afraid to ask me questions in workshops or seminars, and they finally come up and they do something, whether it's just asking a question or performing or making a video or singing or whatever their talents are, come up and do it. Come on up and do it. And they're nervous and they're shy. And a lot of these people have been sitting on this talent for 5, 10 years and they haven't expressed it yet because they've been too afraid. And I tell them, even if you come up and you just vomit all over the place, you vomit all over me, I am pumped for you because you tried, because you stood up and you tried. Because if you got up every day and did that and you tied your self-worth to your effort instead of the results there are terrible, right? Really negative. You vomited on somebody. It's pretty bad. But if you got up every day and were proud of your effort, you got up again and you did it again and again and again and again, I promise you'll get results. And way bigger results than if you just did things that kept you in your comfort zone.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
So you have to really want to do it. If it's a bucket list thing that you have to do and you're deeply passionate about it, you have a message that you want to share, or this needs to come out, right? You need to give birth to this thing. It's that important to you. Then you should go out and do it.
Pick the right things to work on, and then 2, focus on executing those things.
Making videos every day. And I'm impatient as anything because I want it to be amazing. I want to make every video better than the last.
Rule number 3, don't try to please everybody.
So listen, everybody's going to have an opinion on what you should do with your life. Everybody, your friends, your family, your culture, your society, your community, your customers, online haters, everybody's got an opinion on what you should do with your life. And it's tempting to want to take the advice. 1, because it gives us advice, but 2, there's also somebody to blame, right? Like if it doesn't work out, it's not my fault, it's that person's fault. They said I should do it. At some point though, you have to decide that you are going to be an adult, that you are in control, that you want to go off and build your own life, and only you know what that looks like. And you have to have the courage and the confidence to step up and say, I'm in charge. This is my life now. I get to decide what I want to do. And some opinions will matter and some opinions will make a difference, and others you have to let bounce off you. You're not going to be able to please everybody. Everybody has an opinion on what you should do with your life, and the only one that really matters truly is this one right here. So how do you decide? How do you know what the difference is? How do you know which opinions you should take, which you should listen to? Because on the one hand, it's you want to take advice, you want to take counsel, you don't know everything. And on the other hand, it's your life, you got to decide. How do you make those two things work together? I'm going to give you 3 ideas that I think could really help you. Number 1 is understand what your one word is. Your one word is your most important core value. Mine is believe, yours is whatever it is. It's worth going through the exercise. I think it's one of the most important exercises you can ever do in your life. It becomes a filter through which you see the world. And so for me, it's believe. And believe is around believing in yourself, having self-confidence, believing in the work that you're doing, having passion for it, and believing that it's going to work out, believing in the impact, believing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even if you only see darkness around you right now. That's believe. And so all of the decisions that I make are through the lens of believe. Every new piece of content that I put on my channel is through the lens of believe. And so if you give me advice that has nothing to do with believe, it may be great potential advice, but it's not for me. How do I know what's for me? Because I'm standing on my rock of belief. And if you don't know what value you stand on, it's easy to get pulled in a lot of different directions. It's easy to look at somebody else's life and say, I want to be like that. No, I want to be like that. No, oh, maybe you're right. I should go over here. You don't have confidence because you don't know who you are. And so the starting point is figuring out what your one word is, because that is at the core. It's your most important core value. So someone might say for my YouTube channel, hey, you should profile the top stupidest mistakes that this person has made, or the top most hateful things that that person said, you know, or the top reasons why this person's an idiot. Chances are those videos would actually blow up. You know, people like negativity more than positivity, unfortunately. I'm not going to make those videos. It's not believe. Right? I want to spread positivity and hope and optimism. That's what I want to spread in the content that I put out. And so it's an easy no. Even though from a strategy point of view, it might be a great thing to blow up my channel, I don't want to go down that path. It's not believe. And so when you understand what your one word, most important core value is, it becomes the filter for your entire life, your entire business. And as questions and feedback and suggestions come into you, it becomes that filter so you can make better decisions. Step number 2 is the boom, 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 boom test. And what I mean by that is if your heart is going boom, 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 like you're nervous, somebody suggests something to you and it sounds exciting, but you're nervous and you're scared, then you have to go and do that thing. You have to go and do that thing just to teach yourself that you are the kind of person who, when you're nervous, when you're scared, when you're fearful, you jump into it, you attack it, you want to beat it. Because if you want to go off and do some crazy big thing, right? We're entrepreneurs, we got a big crazy mission that we're trying to go off and save the world from something, right? We want to spread our message. If you can't do this one little scary thing in front of you, you can't do that. There's no way you're going to go off and accomplish that big thing. And so train yourself anytime your heart is being nervous, right? It's booming. You're scared of doing something. You're called upon. You're asked to rise to a challenge. You're nervous. You're fearful. You're scared. Go and do that thing just to show yourself that you can. That's how you actually build self-respect. That's how you actually build self-confidence. It's when you're feeling afraid and you jump in and do it anyway. I don't believe in be fearless. I don't think you can be fearless. I think if you're fearless on a daily basis, it means you're playing life so small that nothing scares you. I think it's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's feeling the fear and saying, I'm scared of this, and I'm the kind of person who rises to a challenge and I'm going to go off and attack it. And so when you get a suggestion, when somebody gives you an opinion, is it something that you actually want to do? Is it something that makes you scared? And if yes, then you have to go off and do that thing just to show yourself that you can. And the third filter is, what will you regret? If you get hit with a suggestion, somebody says you should do this, think about, will you regret not doing it? We very rarely regret the things that we do. We regret the things that we didn't do. We regret the actions not taken. And so when you get hit with a suggestion and you want to do it, but you're afraid, and we got the boom, boom, boom test already, imagine your life at 100 years old. Fast forward, you're at the end of your life, you're sitting on your rocking chair, you're in some retirement home, life is almost over for you, and look back at the past decades of your life. Will you regret not having taken action on it? This is the thing I use to help push me through fear as well. If somebody suggests, hey, you should go do an interview with this person, and I'm afraid, that means I have to do it, but also I fast forward to 100 years old and said, I could have done that. You know, I could have done that. I could have made that thing happen, but I didn't. And now I've lived the past 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, depending on how old you are, with regret. And so I imagine it as I've got, something stuck in my tooth. Something stuck in my tooth, I can't get it out. And it's bothering me, but then I punch myself in the arm. Ow, that hurt. I punched hard. punch myself in the arm, and so I don't feel the toothache anymore. I don't feel that thing stuck in between my teeth. That's what regret can be used for. You don't want to live in the regret 24/7. You don't want to live in the negativity and the fear 24/7. But in moments when you feel like you're about to play small, in moments when you get hit with this opinion or suggestion that you know is the right thing for you, but you're afraid that it's not going to work out, I use that fear of regret to make it so big in the moment that I have to go off and do that thing. That's what helped me get my YouTube channel going. That's what helped me do my presentations and my tours and my speaking gigs and my books and all of these things. I'm scared. I'm afraid to do it. I imagine myself at 100 and say, if I don't write that book, if I don't make those YouTube videos, if I don't go and interview that person, if I don't try to push my 10 million subscriber goal, if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And that fear forces me into positive action to go off and do it.
Rule number 4, stop judging yourself.
Making decisions for your life based off of what other people expect you to do is the fastest way to hate your life. Most people actually hate their lives. Most people are not doing the thing that they could be great at, and they're judging you for you going off and chasing down your dream. Listening to them is the fastest way to crush your dreams and never achieve the Michael Jordan level greatness that you have inside you. You're a weird duck. This is one thing that I've learned from all of my travels, from all the entrepreneurs I've visited around the world. I'm a weird duck, and so are you. You're a weird duck. You like weird things. You're not normal. You don't want to be normal. You don't want to be normal. You do not want to be normal. And yet you judge yourself based off of what other people expect a normal person to do. And it's time to stop. And I'm leaning into it more and more and more and more and more. And I hope I can give you permission to lean into it more and more and more as well. I'm here in beautiful Puerto Rico. We're taking a walk down the beach earlier today with my wife, Nina, and we're supposed to film, but the sound on the beach is crazy. Hopefully you can still hear it here. It's still got some wind, but on the water it's a crazy windy day, so we came back up to film. And as I was walking, I did a quick Instagram video of just my feet in the sand, and somebody DM'd me as a response to say, man, if I was there, I'd have a really hard time focusing on work. And I responded, I can't wait to get back to my room to go film. Like, this is beautiful. I love it. It's amazing, right? Like, what a scenery. I'm blessed to be here. Grateful that I can have the kind of business that allows me to travel and see these awesome places. But I love the work. I love working. I love making videos for you guys. I can't wait to plan, the next week, the next month, the next quarter for what I'm going to be doing in my business. I love it. After I'm done filming, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go down on the beach. We're going to go down there. See those chairs right there? We're going to go down there. Nina's going to work on her tan. Probably pass out. That's the goal. She wants to try to sleep. I'm going to be working. I'm going to be looking at my YouTube stats. I'm going to be planning my membership course. I'm going to be looking at my YouTube growth bootcamp. I'm going to be working on the book launch. I'm going to be working, and I love it. I love it. And that's weird. That's not what most of these people want to do, right? That's not what these guys want to do. But most people come to a place like this to escape a life that they hate. They come to a place like this for a couple days or for a week to escape a life that they hate. They can run away. I just want to lie on the beach and forget my life. Forget that world exists and just escape. I think that's a huge mistake. There's nothing wrong. If you love the beach, you love the ocean, you love the weather, it's beautiful weather. Coming from Toronto, Canada, we're buried under snow right now, so this is beautiful weather. There's nothing wrong with that. But what's better is fixing your life. If you're looking forward to your next vacation, that's amazing because you're looking forward to it, but not because you're trying to run away from something. And that's what most people are doing. They run away from a life that they hate. It's not the path. And these are the people whose opinions you're worried about. The people who wake up every day, go to a job that they hate, so that once a year they can come on a vacation like this, are telling you that you suck, that you're crazy, that you shouldn't be doing this crazy thing. They gave up on their dreams years ago. Don't let that infect you. And it's not that they suck and that you need to put them down, but you can't let that toxicity seep into yourself. And so it starts by understanding that, yeah, you are weird.
You love weird. You embrace weird. Anytime my son, Hayden, who's 10, somebody calls him weird at school, we fist bump that. Boom, awesome. Of course we're weird. You don't want to be normal. Who wants to be normal? So one, embrace the weird. Embrace the different. You're a weird duck. That's badass. That's amazing. Love it. Own it. And then two, whatever it is that you want to do that makes you weird, go off and do it. As long as it's not hurting somebody else. Get into the practice of expressing yourself. Get into the practice of living your life more out loud. Not to try to show off and say, hey, look at me. But just to get comfortable with living your life and not having the opinions of the people who are looking at you impact you. Have empathy for them. If somebody's hating on you, if somebody's telling you that you shouldn't do it, that you're crazy, that you suck, have empathy for them. Because that person guaranteed hates their life. They hate their life. So look at their life. Do you want a life like them? Do you want to live like them? Do you want a mindset like them? Do you want to wake up and think like them and have their habits and routine? No. Hell no. 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 So why are you listening to them? Self-confidence, self-respect, self-love comes from doing difficult things. Comes from doing the things that you might get judged for. Everything you want that's great out of life, your dreams, your ambitions, the big goals you have will come with other people judging you, saying that you can't do it. And so you must. You must make the choice to decide, are you going to live out loud, live your version of your life, instead of what other people, boring people, people who hate their life, who are living in mediocrity, want for you. Decision time.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, do difficult things.
Self-esteem comes from doing difficult things. You set a goal, you said you'd start doing something, and maybe even you do actually start doing that thing. But then you hit a roadblock. Then it gets difficult, it gets hard, and what you do in that moment will define the rest of your life. When it's hard, when it's difficult, do you rise to the occasion? Or do you let yourself off again, finding some really logical reason why you can't do that thing? It doesn't count until it's hard. You don't grow until it's hard. You don't build self-respect, self-esteem, self-confidence until it's hard and you follow through. I keep these in my office as a reminder of who I am in my best moments, my best self, to push me to do more and to push harder. What are these? If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Evan. I went on a tour at the beginning of this year. I did a tour, 23 cities, 90 days, and 2/3 of the way through, with a month left, I broke my neck. When I was in Denver, I fainted, I fell out of a chair, I hit my head against a wall, cracked the back of my head open, I had 3 staples on my head, I had a concussion, and I broke my neck in 2 spots. And after that night, I had to wear this. I had to wear this for the next, I just noticed this note here. Nina signed it. I love you, get well soon, Nina. She signed it. That's sweet. Aw, gotta go thank her. Anyway, had a little emotional moment there. I broke my neck and I decided to keep going on my tour. I had a month left. Everybody was telling me to go home. My agent told me to go home. My friends, my family said, come home, get the healthcare you need, relax, stay in bed, rest, you need to recover. And I said, being with entrepreneurs is my recovery. And pushing through and doing this tour is my healing. One, physical healing, because just sitting on the bed all day is not going to be, for someone like me, something that's amazing. But two, just pushing through and knowing that I can, right? It doesn't count until it's hard. It doesn't count until it's difficult, and then you get up and you do it. And so if you've seen any of the videos or pictures of me at the events, I went from standing up and moving around and having energy to then I had to sit at the front of a room with pillows behind me and an ice pack on my shoulder blade for 3.5, 4 hours in massive pain the whole time, answering questions and doing my workshop. And I was so proud of myself for doing it. That's how I built my self-esteem, by getting up and doing it, by showing up. And it inspired the people who came out. They're saying, well, I lived 25 minutes away, didn't know if I wanted to make the drive, I commit to it, I was kind of tired. And then I saw you with your broken neck still showing up, so I had to show up too, right? But that's not why I did it. I did it for me, I did it for myself. I had to wear this all day, all night long. This was my first one, and then it started to break, so Nina put some duct tape on it here. And then this was my second one that once it started to really wind down, I couldn't wear it anymore. I went for this one. And 10 minutes a day is all I could do to take it off for a shower. So I had to sleep in this. I had to do my workshop in this. Everything. 23 hours and 50 minutes a day, except for a 10-minute break in the shower where I took it off and was paranoid about moving anything because my neck was broken. I had to keep it stabilized. I wore these. This reminds me of how strong I am. So big shout out to Mark Drager, friend of the channel, who said, hey, you should keep those as souvenirs, as mementos. And I'm not a super sentimental guy, so I don't usually do that, but I did. I kept them both, and I keep them on my shelf down there behind me, so when I walk in to the office, it reminds me of how strong I am. Doing the workshop tour was already a stretch because it was a paid tour that I was afraid to do, and disappointing people is my number one fear. And so getting up every 3-4 days and having a chance to face my fear again was already a big stretch for me. But then doing that last month with my broken neck just upped the ante, up my level, up the challenge. And so when it gets hard, this is it, this is the example. When it gets hard, when everybody tells you, just back off, don't worry about it. Even when there's that voice inside your head that says, is that a little too much? You know, you could just sleep, you could just relax, you've earned it. What's gonna make you proud? And at the end of the day, this is the only thing that you could judge for yourself. I would not have been proud of myself if I left the tour. I would have had a lot of good reasons to do it. I wouldn't have felt proud of myself. And so I had to keep going. That's what made me proud. That's what got me through on the other side. And it took me to another level. It doesn't count until it's hard. You will be challenged. You'll be faced with difficulties. You will have every reason in the world to slow down, to stop, to quit. What's gonna make you proud? Go do that thing. There's a 3-step process I wanna walk you through that I think will help. Let's dive in. Step number 1 is you tell yourself you do difficult things. I wanna develop that identity for myself, and I want it for you. You do difficult things. You love difficult things. What's the reason why you're not doing the thing that you wanna do? Go look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I not doing the thing that I said I was gonna do? If the answer comes back that it's difficult, it's not an acceptable answer. It's hard is not an acceptable answer. You love doing hard things. You only wanna do hard, difficult things. What's the alternative? Easy? You want easy all day long? You can get it, it's easy. You want easy? Anybody can live easy. It just means you do the same thing over and over and over again. You photocopy yesterday and the day before and the day before. You photocopy your life every day. You can live like you did yesterday and the day before for the rest of your life. Just doing the same thing, waking up, going to a job that you hate, doing that all over. That's easy. You don't like it because humans are built to grow. You want to grow. You want progress. You want to be learning. And that comes by doing difficult things. You love difficult things. If you don't have something in your calendar that is difficult in the next week, you don't like your life. And so watch your language. Watch how you're speaking out to people and you're explaining things, but also just to yourself, what you think about. Oh, but it's so hard. Nope. You do hard things. You love hard things. Ask the people around you to catch it. Anytime you say something is difficult or hard, catch it. Tell me. Throw water on my face. Let me know. And then go and do that thing. And then watch your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-respect skyrocket. Number 2 is use regret to fuel you. You very rarely regret the things that you have done. You regret the things not done. You regret the things that you wanted to do, that you should have done, that you wanted to take your shot at it, but you're just afraid. You're just afraid. It's normal, it's human nature, we're afraid. We're afraid of the new. But you want to do that thing. And so I don't recommend using past regrets that much because you can't change the past, but future ones. This thing that you want to do, imagine that you never do it. This thing that you have, this idea in your head of you speaking on stage or making videos or launching that product or winning that award, whatever the thing is that's in your head, you never do it. It never happens because you're afraid. You never take that step because you're afraid. You never make that phone call because you're afraid. You never send that email, record that video, press that red button. You never do it because you're afraid. You're afraid, you're afraid, you're afraid, you're afraid. You never take action because you're afraid. Now what? Now you're 85 years old and you haven't done anything. And just feel how hard that hurts. Feel it. That sucks. And what it does is bring all that pain and fear of the next X number of decades into today's moment to force you into action. Because you have to do that thing. You want to do that thing. It's better to know and to fail than to not know. You don't want to live your whole life not knowing. So use the future fear of regret to push you into immediate action. And number 3 is tell yourself it's the best. If you hang around me long enough, you'll start saying it. It's the best. And I use it as a trigger that anytime there's something negative happening around me, from a big thing to a small thing, you rewire yourself to say, this is the best. This is the best. This is my chance to show myself and the world what I'm made of. This is the best. Whatever problem's in front of you, even yesterday I was making coffee, bulletproof coffee. You have to put coffee in a blender with milk or butter and MCT oil. And if you want some collagen, you throw it in there, you turn the blender on and it goes. When I do cream, I just keep the blender on low because you don't have to blend it that much. And I don't have a cap on. But for whatever reason, I turned the thing on and for the first time ever, the whole machine exploded on me. Coffee everywhere, all over the countertop, all over the floor, all over the cabinets. Coffee is everywhere. It's part of my morning routine. Now I'm behind. Now I gotta clean this mess up. I'm behind. I'm gonna fall behind on everything else I need to do. It's the best. This is the best. This is the best. Because what's the alternative? Just complain about it? If you believe, like I believe, that your purpose comes from your pain, that negative thing that happened to you, even in the biggest sense, I'm just talking about coffee, who cares? But the big things that are negative that happen to you are actually the best too. Because you get defined by it either way. Those challenges that get thrown in front of your face, you get defined by it either way. Either you then take on the identity that you can't handle difficult things and you succumb and you become negative and complain and drag other people down with you, or you take the approach that this negative thing that happened is the best and I'm gonna learn from it and I'm gonna grow from it and then I'm gonna make sure that nobody else on the planet ever has to go through that crazy, scary, impossible, painful thing that you went through. That's why I love helping entrepreneurs, because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur myself. I wanna try to make the path a little bit easier for you compared to what I had to go through. So it's the best. So try to catch it. Try to teach yourself. Whenever you get faced with a negative situation, no matter how big or small, just tell yourself, this thing right here is the best.
Nobody wants to work with somebody who doesn't have integrity. But what is integrity? What does that mean for you? How do you find it? How do you know what you stand for? For me, it all comes down to values. When you understand what you stand for as a human being, when you know what your most important core value is, then you know how to live with integrity and you know how to build a business based around integrity as well. And so the process that I go through is your one word. I wrote a book about it. You can read it, you can pick it up and understand how to apply it to your business and your life. But at the core is figuring out, if I had to stand for one thing as a human being, what is that thing? And so a quick process. Let's go through this quick exercise together. You can pick up the book later. Right now, think about one. Who was your favorite teacher growing up? You've had lots of teachers growing up through high school, university, elementary school. Who was your favorite teacher? It wasn't because they taught you grade 10 math. There was a reason. What was it? Who was the person and what was it? 2, what was your favorite movie growing up? Pick your favorite movie and why. And then 3, who's your favorite entrepreneur? Who's the person that you looked up to the most? Who did you learn the most from? Who do you most want to emulate? If I run through that scenario for myself, number 1, my favorite teacher is Madame Farr growing up at my school, Crescent School. She always believed in me. She always helped me. She always guided me. She helped take me from being a B student to an A+ student in my final year. She made me feel like it was possible. 2, my favorite movie is Seabiscuit. It's about this racehorse that's too small and a jockey that's too big and an owner that has no money and a trainer that's down on his luck. And they all seem to come together to build this racehorse that goes off and wins a whole bunch of races and helps lift the nation based off a true story. I've seen that movie at least 30 times. 3, my favorite entrepreneur is A.P. Giannini. He started Bank of America. He was the guy who first gave immigrants in America money as a loan. He lent money to people based off of a handshake and a look in their eye, if you can imagine. He gave Walt Disney the money to have his first feature-length cartoon. Everybody thought he was crazy. And so what's a common thread through all that? Between Madame Farr, Seabiscuit, A.P. Giannini, they may all seem totally disconnected. They're not. If I had to write down 3 characteristics, this is what you should do. You write down your 3 names, and then you have 3 characteristics for each one. The word believe pops off the sheet for me. I think about all of them, and believe comes out. Madame Farr believed in me. My other teachers are really nice. They really helped me. It was amazing, but she really helped move the needle because she believed in me. Seabiscuit, I've seen lots of movies. I love them all. It's great. But the idea of believe coming through that racehorse, I love it. It's a cheesy movie, but I love it. And then AP Giannini is the believe banker. Lent money to people and bet on them when nobody else believed in them. My one word is believe. As a result, I've built my entire business around it, right? My life and my business are built around believe. My videos, my newsletter, my website, my speaking gigs, the books that I write, everything I create, it's not just a strategy, it's a way of living. And that's having integrity with yourself. So why don't I make a top 10 video series on the stupidest things that people say? Because it's anti-belief, because it's negative. My channel would actually be bigger if I did the negative side of things. People would rather be entertained and laugh at others than educate themselves and get better. People would rather sit at home and watch 4 hours of Netflix every night than go off and spend 4 hours learning and try to build a business. They just would. We'd rather be entertained and educated. But I don't want to be in that business. I don't want to be in a negative business. I don't want to be in the hater business because my one word is believe. And so that's having integrity with myself and then integrity with you guys, my audience, my customers, the people that I work with. And so yes, integrity is at the core of everything. If you don't have integrity, people do not want to work with you. But how do you figure out what that means? Of course, you're not going to go lie to somebody, right? Of course, stealing is going to be bad. But what else? How do you get more specific? The biggest problem is lack of clarity. People don't know what they stand for. And as a result, you're living up to other people's expectations and versions, where I want you to live inside yourself. I want you to be standing on a rock when everybody else is standing on quicksand. You have clarity, you have definiteness of purpose, and it starts with figuring out your one word. So you can pick up the book, or you can go through that 3-step process. Think about who your favorite teacher was and why, write 3 words down for it. Think about what your favorite movie is and why, write 3 words down for it. And think about who your favorite entrepreneur or hero is of all time and why, write 3 words down from it. Look at what's similar, your one word will pop off the page, and now you know what integrity means to you.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to learn how to stop living a small life and win big, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
And don't let your head talk you down from doing it. I think most of us live small. I think we're constantly living small. We're so concerned about our friends telling us that our ideas suck. It's us.